What kind of person crosses the line between mentor and manipulator? What brings a trusted teacher to the brink of destruction? And who pays the price when forbidden relationships unravel into disaster? Before Emma Sinclair became the center of Silverwood's darkest scandal, she was just a girl with dreams far beyond her small-town upbringing. Emma grew up in Cedar Falls, a sleepy Midwest town where life moved slowly and ambitions were often stifled by circumstance. Her mother, a nurse who worked long hours to support the family, raised Emma alone after her father walked out when she was just 5. Books were Emma's escape. She found herself lost in worlds far more vibrant than Cedar Falls could ever offer. Jane Austen's England, Fitzgerald's Jazz Age, Shakespeare's timeless tragedies. She excelled in school, her sharp mind and insatiable curiosity setting her apart from her peers. By the time she graduated high school, Emma knew she wanted more than Cedar Falls could offer. She earned a scholarship to a prestigious university, where she immersed herself in literature and fell in love with the idea of teaching. Her professors admired her dedication, and her classmates envied her ability to captivate a room with her words. It was at university where she met Daniel, a charismatic law student with dreams of his own. They married young, their futures seemingly intertwined with promise. After graduation, Emma and Daniel moved to Silverwood, a town that seemed like the perfect place to build a life together. Emma began teaching at Silverwood High, where her passion for literature and her ability to connect with students quickly made her a favorite among faculty and parents. She poured herself into her work, leading the debate team to state championships and mentoring students who saw her as more than just a teacher. They saw her as a role model, someone who truly understood them. But life wasn't as perfect as it appeared. Daniel's career took off, and with it, his time and attention for Emma dwindled. The cracks in their marriage grew, and by the time Emma turned 29, the love they once shared had faded into quiet resentment. The divorce was swift and left Emma alone in a town where everyone knew her name, but no one truly knew her. Her job became her sanctuary, a place where she could still feel valued, admired, and needed. But when the school bell rang and the hallways emptied, Emma returned to an empty house, haunted by loneliness and the echoes of what might have been. Silverwood High School sat on the edge of a quiet suburban neighborhood, where manicured lawns and white picket fences gave the illusion of safety and normalcy. It was the kind of place where nothing truly dramatic ever happened, until it did. Emma Sinclair was the school's star teacher. At 29, she had quickly risen to become one of the most beloved educators in the community. With her radiant smile, long auburn hair, and a way of making every student feel seen and heard, Emma was admired by parents and students alike. She taught English literature with a passion that ignited her students' imaginations, and she coached the debate team to numerous victories. But Emma's life wasn't as perfect as it seemed. Beneath her polished exterior was a woman grappling with loneliness, the remnants of a failed marriage, and a desperate need for validation. And when that need wasn't met by her peers, she sought it elsewhere, in the unlikeliest of places. 3 of her students. It started innocently enough. A late-night text from Tyler Grant, a senior in her AP English class. At 18, Tyler was charming, confident, and far more mature than his peers. He often stayed after class to talk about books, his future, and life beyond Silverwood. One night, his text read, "Miss Sinclair, I can't stop thinking about you." Emma knew it was wrong. She knew she should ignore it. But something inside her craved the attention. She responded, cautiously at first, but soon their conversations grew deeper, more personal, more dangerous. Tyler wasn't the only one. There was also Ryan Caldwell, a 17-year-old football player with a troubled home life. Emma had been his mentor, his confidant, the only adult who seemed to care about his struggles. Their relationship crossed the line one evening when he showed up at her house, seeking comfort after a fight with his father. Comfort turned to something more. Then came Liam Parker, a quiet, autistic 16-year-old with a talent for poetry and a crush on his teacher. Emma saw in him a sensitivity and vulnerability that reminded her of herself at that age. Their connection grew during private tutoring sessions, leading to stolen moments and whispered secrets. 3 students, 3 forbidden relationships. Emma told herself it was love. She convinced herself that she was helping them, that they needed her as much as she needed them. But in reality, it was a web of lies and manipulation that could only lead to disaster. Silverwood was a small town, and secrets didn't stay hidden for long. Whispers began circulating, rumors of Miss Sinclair's inappropriate relationships with her students. At first, they were dismissed as teenage gossip, but the rumors grew louder, more persistent. Parents raised concerns. The principal, Mr. Thompson, called Emma into his office one afternoon. "Emma, there are rumors," he said, his tone serious. "I don't want to believe them, but we need to address this." Emma smiled, calm and composed. "Rumors are just that, rumors. You know how teenagers can be." Mr. Thompson nodded, but the seed of doubt had been planted. Meanwhile, Tyler, Ryan, and Liam grew jealous of one another. What had started as secret, thrilling relationships began to unravel under the weight of their emotions. Tyler demanded more of Emma's time. Ryan became possessive, showing up at her house unannounced. Liam, heartbroken and confused, wrote poems that hinted at their affair. It was only a matter of time before the fragile facade shattered. One evening, Emma received a chilling message. "You think you can get away with this? We know everything." Her heart raced as she stared at the anonymous text. Panic set in. Had someone found out? Was it a prank, or was it something more sinister? The next day, a note was slipped into her desk. "You'll pay for what you've done." Emma's once perfect world was crumbling. She tried to distance herself from the boys, but it was too late. The jealousy, the betrayal, the rage, they all reached a boiling point. Tyler confronted Ryan in the school parking lot. "She's mine," Tyler snarled, his fists clenched. "Stay away from her." Ryan laughed bitterly. "She doesn't love you. She's just using you." Their argument turned violent, fists flying as other students watched in shock. Teachers broke up the fight, but the damage had been done. The police were called, and the principal launched an investigation into the rumors surrounding Miss Sinclair. Emma was suspended pending the outcome. Her reputation, her career, and her life were hanging by a thread. But the worst was yet to come. On a cold November night, Emma sat alone in her darkened house, the weight of her actions pressing down on her. She had lost everything: her job, her students, her dignity. The town had turned against her, and the boys she thought she loved had betrayed her. A knock at the door shattered the silence. Cautiously, Emma opened it, finding Tyler standing on her porch, his face pale and eyes wide with fear. "Miss Sinclair," he whispered, "something terrible has happened." Before she could respond, Ryan appeared behind him, blood splattered on his hands and clothes. "It was an accident," Ryan said, his voice shaking. "We didn't mean to—" Emma's heart stopped. "What happened?" "Liam," Tyler muttered. He's dead." Panic gripped Emma as the boys explained. They had confronted Liam, accusing him of trying to expose their secrets. A fight broke out, and in the chaos, Liam fell, his head striking a sharp rock. He died instantly. "We have to call the police," Emma said, her voice trembling. "No," Ryan shouted. "If they find out, we're all finished. You'll go to prison. We'll go to prison." Emma's mind raced. Her life was already in ruins, and now it was spiraling further out of control. "What'll we do?" Tyler asked, his eyes pleading. Emma took a deep breath. "We cover it up. Under the cover of darkness, Emma and the boys drove to a remote wooded area outside town, Liam's lifeless body wrapped in a blanket in the trunk. They dug a shallow grave, their hands trembling with fear and guilt. As they buried the boy who once loved her, Emma whispered a silent prayer for forgiveness. But secrets have a way of coming to light. Liam's disappearance didn't go unnoticed. His parents reported him missing, and the town was thrown into a frenzy. The police launched a search, and suspicion quickly fell on Tyler and Ryan. Their alibis crumbled under scrutiny. The boys turned on each other, each trying to shift the blame. Emma's name surfaced in the investigation, and soon the police were at her door. Under the pressure, Tyler confessed. He told them everything: the affairs, the fight, the cover-up. Emma was arrested, her face plastered across the news as the teacher from hell. In the courtroom, Emma sat silently as the prosecutor detailed her crimes. The jury listened in horror as the story unfolded. A teacher who betrayed her students' trust, who manipulated and seduced them, who became entangled in a web of lies and violence. She was sentenced to life in prison without parole. Tyler and Ryan, charged with manslaughter and conspiracy, were sentenced to 15 years each. Silverwood High School became a cautionary tale, a place where innocence was lost, where desire led to destruction, and where secrets ended in death. As Emma sat in her prison cell, she thought of Liam, the boy who loved her, the boy she couldn't save, the boy whose life ended because of her choices. And she realized that some lessons come too late.